Howdy, OurTechnology, and thanks for reaching out for this landing page rescue. I spent some time reviewing what's currently on your page and the background services and your partnership with Our Calling. I also looked at some similar websites and services that are in the same industry that you're in, and just to get my head around kind of like the general messaging and positioning that other companies are using. So I went to the website, I screenshotted it, I put it into Figma. I'm going to write up some notes and sketches while we discuss it here on this video. I will present to you at the end of this a link to that Figma document and this video for you to review. So, I have a little bit more background knowledge on OurTechnology, how it started, the purpose, and where it's headed. So that helps me know more about the messaging that you're going for, your target audience, your customer base, and generally just more background on the business. So I'm going to talk about that as we go through this to make sure that we're hitting on the right terminologies and audience and CTAs and whatnot. So I went ahead and screenshotted it. Let's hop over to Figma and take a look. So here's the full website. So it's very bare bones at the moment, but it's a good starter. Now, when it comes to a standard landing page, there's different types of landing pages. We use the landing page term fairly broadly these days because there's really multiple types of landing pages. Probably the most purest form of a landing page is a sales page. And that's where you end up on a page, there's no navigation, it's purely a sales pitch. It has a lot of this type of content that I'm going to cover over here. And then it's selling you a product. We also use the term landing page when we're talking about home pages a lot of times for websites. And a home page is the front door to a website. Now, when you become a larger business or your product expands, then you'll end up having a lot of internal pages and blogs and other landing pages for products. But when you're starting out or you're selling a smaller tool like a solopreneur might do, then you may only need like one main landing page, and then maybe a couple of interior pages for contact or FAQs or other needs like that. What I see for our technology right now is you're probably at the point at that early stage where you can get away with basically one page right now until you have a need for more content and coverage of multiple apps that you offer, or services, or FAQs, or whatever, a team page. So while you can get away with one page right now, I would say do that. Focus on that aspect first, but then don't be shy from creating a second page or a third page, because you're definitely going to want to get deeper into the details about like the team and the background and the history than you can on the home page. Or you might want a dedicated page for the Our Calling app. So what I see for OurTechnology is that OurTechnology is the business, and over time the goal is there will be a suite of apps that are offered. And the target audience, from my understanding, is cities or municipalities or communities that want to onboard the tools that OurTechnology creates into their city and their communities to better serve their homeless population. So I believe that's basically what you are going for. And that's kind of my thinking and how I'll approach this. So right now, when I go through the page, it doesn't tell me enough about our technology or the applications or the target audience. So it's like, who is this for? What does it do? I'm not sure. And so that's the first hurdle that you need to um, get past. And when starting out, I think clarity and simplicity is more important than anything else. So even if that means you have to be incredibly explicit in your messaging, uh, to make sure that people understand what you do, who you are and what you do, I would prefer to see that than any kind of mission statements or headline text or fancy copywriting. So like when I see our technology, okay, and then I see revolutionizing the response to homelessness, proven solutions to help your community. I mean, okay, so something about revolutionizing homelessness, communities, solutions, proven, but but there's no answer to the how, what, when, or why, or how. I said how twice. Um, and so that's what you need to address. Like, let's make it easy. You could write that list out: who, what, when, why, and how, and where. Yeah. Um, so revolutionizing the response to homelessness. When I read words specifically like these, like revolutionizing, wow, that's I'm gonna take that literally, and so there better be proof to back that up. And so, yes, we all want to um, pump our business and our product up to our aspirations, but when you say revolutionizing or proven, you better make sure that's true and give me the facts that equate to uh, the solutions that you offer, that they are proven. Proven to do what? I don't know. Revolutionize homelessness. So we'll talk about. We'll try. I'll get deeper into the messaging in a moment. But for just a quick overview, this is my standard breakdown for a a landing page. And this is probably closer to like a single product business um, that's offering a SaaS product or something like that. But each of these numbered items relates to something, some questions, some content that needs to be addressed in your homepage. So, like I said, I like to keep things simple and clear and clear. And so if that means that I have to literally just go down and make each of these a section to make sure that I hit on that topic and that content exists and those questions are answered, then I'll do that. Um, Rather than try to be a little bit more clever with how I approach the layout and the content. So every website has a hero section, and that's what the visitor sees when they first land on the page. And we also call that the above the fold section. So you're on for our technology, that come is this screenshot right here. So we can see just a little bit of this iPhone down here. So I'm gonna draw a line right here for um, that breakpoint. And above the fold is kind of like a contentious term that designers like to argue about because it's like, oh, above, it's just been a long battle over the years that I think is overdone. But above the fold, below the fold comes from the time of newspapers. So on a newspaper, which are large format, when they're set at the newsstand, they're folded in half and they're stacked. And so the top half of the newspaper is above the folds. That's the most important headlines that's going to hook people and get them interested in the newspaper. Below the fold is when you fold it out and then you see that secondary set of information. Um, and that in ways on the web that does exist and does not. the fear that people a lot of times have is people aren't going to scroll. They're not going to see beyond above the fold. We need to cram all of the information up there. You don't have to. People do scroll, especially on mobile. If you do tracking, you'll see that the rate of users that scroll down desktops versus mobile, people on mobile scroll super far, and their pages are much, much longer. Like a higher percentage of them go all the way down to the footer of the page. And based on that information, plus a few tricks that we can implement in our design and layout, we can make uh, we can we can make add clues and emphasize that we want people to continue with the story. So even if that's like instead of this iPhone image popping up just this little bit and maybe not seeing that, I mean, what if we just had an iPhone that went from top to bottom or from hero section below the fold, and we made it really clear that there's information to continue that you want to see down there. Well, that's going to help them just naturally scroll beyond this first screenshot. But we also have to hook them here. So other items that I like to see on the page are logos, testimonials, product demos, how it works, features and objections, use cases, more social proof, FAQs, pricing, second CTA, and a founder's or team note. And all of these address aspects of who you are, proving that you're real, proving that there are real people involved in this website, like customers, how the product works, what you're offering, how much it costs, and who it's for. And so by answering each of these, you're checking off a mental tally in a visitor's head. Is this the right product for me? Does it offer what I want? Is that a price that I'm willing to pay? Um, and so let's start at the hero section just to get because it is like this is our hook. So let's start here and then we'll move on further down the page. And I'm going to give some reaction as well as I'm looking at this. So right now, let's talk. Okay, so your primary target audience is municipalities. Let's just say city. And that is where you hope to get money from. Okay. Now, you're probably going to have other types of users viewing your content and participating, but this is our number one priority is our paying user. So what I'm seeing right now, nothing that tells me who my target audience or my target customer is, and also what they should be doing right now and in the future. What we have is a join the wait list for what? Wait list for what? I don't know. We do have an app which with some buttons and QR codes. We have some text and we have another join the wait list. But like I don't know who should join the wait list, what they should expect, what they're expecting to see, what they're going to get, or who should join, like I said. So the first thing I would do is make sure that your messaging is focused on your target audience. And that right now, the words that we're using, I already covered that, revolutionizing proven solutions. But we need to speak specifically to cities or municipalities or communities. So what's the right term? That's a little bit harder to say in that you want to include, those types of customers without alienating another or making it too niched. But you do need to niche that down. So the other thing is there's nothing in the nav bar, nothing, not even a CTA. And so if you have a one-page site, And basically what I recommend is logo, CTA, and then in the center, jump links down the page. So one of these would be FAQ, one of them would be pricing, one of them would be features or apps, right? And and demo. Maybe there's a demo one. But give me some indication of the content that exists on the page that I can find, or somewhere that I can find to get answers. Now, the other thing, coming 2024, I don't think that really adds any benefit at all. Basically, it tells a site visitor right now, we're not doing much, so just wait. And we don't want them to just wait. We want them involved now, and we want to make sales now. So I would just say get rid of that. Um, Branding. So there's some brand style going on. It's very minimal, very neutral with some colors here and there, which I like. I mean, I'm kind of a minimalist when it comes to branding. I do like this mark. It's interesting looking. It could be bigger to fit in better. OurTechnology. That is such a mouthful for me. Like even if it was just our tech, like that would be so much easier to say. Um, it's okay, and I know it goes in with the family of our calling. I kind of don't like it just because it's about technology. And when we're talking about humans, and we're especially populations like the homeless population, we're talking about people and humans and relationships and communication. And we're not talking about technology. Even the technology companies out there don't talk about technology. They're positioning themselves as communities or uh, relationships, like I just said, like even Facebook or Reddit. Um, and they're not saying the old school brands say we are a technology solutions uh, company that provides blah blah blah, right? So I don't love the name, but I get it, and the name's not a make or break. But even if anyway, let's pass on that for now and continue on. But I think what you need to see, so a hero section. This is what I marked down for the necessities: a headline, a subtext, a visual, social proof, and a CTA. So think about who you're talking to, which are cities or municipalities, um, and use the headline and the subtext to play together to write that hook and that messaging that's going to get them involved. For a visual, you got to put more than just a basic slideshow. And like this doesn't do much for me. This is sad. This is okay. We actually see people interacting and talking. This is weird. Like I'm spying into some guy's tent. Um, this is technology, and it's the people working behind the scenes. This is spot on. This is what we're looking for. Uh, Clearly, people that work at our calling with human beings. I don't know what this is. It's two people with looking at stock charts. This is sad again, like super sad. What I like to see is, the human side. So don't just put this image up here as your visual, because then you're just talking about an app. But you could do a mixture of content types, kind of like you see collages a lot these days. So you might have an image, and it might have a man and that woman praying or talking to each other. But then you also can have like some little graphics associated with it to help emphasize the types of interactions that they're having. Um, Man, I should have pulled up a good example. Let me think. I have something in mind, but I can't think of what the company is. Um, ah, Zapier? No, I don't know. But I can provide some examples of this type of collage montage. But that would be, you need something more interesting here that conveys the message and conveys people plus the tooling that you provide. Revolutionizing the response to homelessness. So when it comes to the messaging, I go for 2 to 3 lines of text for the headline, and then 2 to 3 lines of text for the subtext, and then a CTA. What you need to consider when it comes to the CTA is, what do you want people to do? Well, what you really want them to do is go all in on the money aspect. So what you really 100% want them to do is purchase. So how can you say that, and what are you offering right now? So figure out what you're offering for your target customer and make that the primary CTA. Now, my intuition says that with a, a target customer like cities or municipalities, I think this is going to be a long sales cycle with that's going to require high touch to get it done, to get it through, and high touch on your end, but also high touch on their end. I can't imagine cities making a decision to hop on board with something like this, or pay for a suite of apps with one person's decision. So I think it's going to take a lot of personal touch to make that happen. So what you're going to want is you want a primary CTA, and then you can have a secondary CTA. So your primary is your direct action, which is do it and pay money and do it all. The second is transactional. So this is going to get people into the funnel. And I think for you, it's going to be book a call or book a demo. So at least lowering that bar of effort for somebody to get involved, to at least getting them into the sales funnel, because it's probably going to take a personal touch to get to have somebody sign over as a paying customer. Um, I have some specifics around how I write headlines and subtext. Sometimes it's so here. Let me show you what this looks like. This is my formula aspect to it. So if I have to write a headline and a subtext, and I don't have any like great copywriter or copywriting skills myself, which I'm not a great copywriter, but I always go for simple, then this is kind of what I go for. So a headline, we're talking about an action, the desired outcome, and the time frame or condition. So this is kind of like a very generic one. Boost your productivity in just 2 weeks with our proven strategies. That's not a good headline, but you can see where it fits these three um, variables in. Subtext, clarify the offer, highlight a key benefit, plus address a common objection or concern. I will spend a little bit of time offline writing some ideas out here, and I'll put them in this file so you can review them later. But you need to think about those aspects of the messaging. We talked about the CTA, social proof. So this is where I think just having a logo farm is probably the best for you right now. And that can be above the fold right here. And a logo farm is just a listing of logos. And for you, those would be partner logos. Until you have big name customers, so the city of Dallas, the city of Phoenix, the city of New Orleans, whatever, at that point you're going to want to put those customers. But right now, you're going to go for partners because that's what you have available. So I know, like when I looked at our calling and on the website and on the app, that there are tons of partners already listed. So that's who you're going to put here, and it's going to give that real world aspect to your landing page. Testimonials after that. So go for putting this above the fold, and using that as your um, social proof. What when I talk, let's see. Okay, so we'll come back to this in just a moment. Testimonials. If you have testimonials, what that's really going to the best testimonials for you are going to be from your customers. So from somebody that represents the city of Dallas, from someone that represents the city of Phoenix. Those are going to be key to 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 get as you onboard new customers and they use your products. Until then, I think you can use existing testimonials that are relevant based on your work with our calling, or even just not testimonials, but quotations by well-known people about the homeless situation and how we can help them or whatever. So putting some real world faces to testimonials or quotes is a huge benefit. It brings in that human aspect and proves that that this isn't just an app or uh, a product. This is more than that. Product demo. So this is typically a short video about your offering or like a live interactive state that the visitor can try out. So it's a little bit different for our tech because you are a business that's offering a suite of apps. Um, I think this might be harder to push right now, but what you do have is you have your first application, and that's our calling. So I think when it comes to talking about your what our tech offers as far as tools and products is your suite of apps. And so the best way to lay that out right now, I believe, is you're going to have a dedicated section for apps. And right now you have the big one, which is our calling. That's where you put your little image. You're basically doing like another hero section for this. You have some messaging. You have your buttons to get the app. But the plan is that you're going to have more down the line. So I would go ahead and put those in here, but smaller and below your active one. And just say coming soon, coming soon. And this is, the map thingy. And then this one is a CRM thingy or a food bank application, something like that, so that people can see not only what you're doing right now, but what your roadmap is and what you're already planning and working on. Um, I said get rid of coming 2024. We're already in 2024. I don't think you need to put any hard dates or targets on this stuff unless you're just like until you're that confident that it's coming out. So that's what I would do around product demo. For how it works, this is a little bit different again for this use case, but how it works is like the 1, 2, 3. How a customer operates with your product or services. So this is getting there with the messaging and this too. But what I would probably do is how it works and the 1, 2, 3 is I would do something along the lines of like how your target audience operates with our technology. So that would be like one, deploy, city of whatever deploys these applications to their working crews. Two, we meet the people on the street. Three, we find ways to fulfill their needs, something like that. So don't make it and make it the points focused on like the good and the value and the goal, the outcome, more than like one, download our app or sign up for our app. Two, input your information. Three, start using our app. Um, so just think of that in of the how it works section in that way. Features and objections. I think this is where you can talk about our technology in general. So who are we and what are we offering? Well, we're a group of people that has certain specialized skills in technology and experience in the professional technology field and street experience on the ground working with the homeless populations and cities or municipalities, which gives us a unique insight into how best to provide a like provide a usable and scalable solution to um, to help all the players in this situation, the homeless people, the outreach, the volunteers, the cities. So that's what I would go for, like with features and objections in this case, and make it clear, make it simple. Don't overcomplicate it, but touch on each of these aspects. For use cases, what I like to see for that is one, you're talking about your target audience. So use cases. Who are the people that um, that represent your target audience? So it might be like city managers. It might be the mayor. It might be uh, I don't know, volunteers or some other, not volunteers, but like people that make the actual decisions when it comes to would we use this product or not. And then, so that's I like to call these the roles. So when you have visitors, site visitors, and they're reading through it, you want them to see this and identify with something from it. See the list, see the full site messaging, and identify with it. So the other thing I like is to list like some actions. So it might be like manage a group of volunteers, um, plan future affordable housing, uh, roll out mission objective organizational doodads. So when they're reading through it, they can identify as a role, they can identify actions that they personally do, and that they can see how using your product helps them accomplish that. So if you have more social proof, I stick that in next. So that would be like, let's say you have testimonials, like this is a traditional product of some sort. So let's say up here, Logo Farm testimonials. I would put like 3 testimonials here, and here's an example. Boom, 1, 2, 3. And then down further, I would put 7, if I had more testimonials, 7 to 12 more testimonials if I have those. If I have more than 20, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a dedicated testimonial page, so I can link to that from here, where I'll display all of them. And that's becoming more popular and easier to do with a lot of social proof software as a service. You need to hit the FAQs. If there's any confusing aspect or mission or anything that you're not covering, definitely hit those in the FAQs. This is where you can write a single sentence and then add a whole paragraph of stuff, and not have to make it look pretty or designed or fit in somewhere else. But think about what those FAQs are. I would recommend having 5 to 12 12 is probably a lot. So maybe, let's just say actually 10, 5 to 10, at most 12 FAQs on this landing page. If you have even more, then you want to go to the dedicated FAQ page. So link to that, just like the dedicated testimonial page. And having a lot of FAQs is not bad as long as they're purposeful. So if you, and the more complex or the more questions that your target audience will have, the more FAQs you will need. So I wouldn't doubt if there's 20, 25 FAQ questions that you need to address. So on the landing page, address the top 7, link to the dedicated FAQ page, have those broken out into categories if you need to, if that helps the organization of it. But this is a must. And then also always have a way for people to, didn't find we didn't answer your question. Here's how you can get in touch with us and we'll answer that right away. I do like having pricing, even if you're pre-revenue or pre-sales, just give me some idea of what to expect. So that way, I think it makes more sense probably along the lines of if I'm talking about SaaS software, like give me an idea of what to expect. Like I looked at this, wow, I am interested. But then I see that there's no pricing on it. So I'm going to start wondering, like, is this going to be in my budget range? Is this going to be a ridiculous pricing? Is this going to be dirt cheap? I don't know. Give me something. So even if it's a range, or starting at number. So maybe pricing for cities is, I don't even know. Like, I can't even guess, honestly, of how this would work, how pricing works for this product or product suite. If you need to, make a dedicated page for pricing if it's that complicated. So, if you only have 1 to 3 basic offerings and it's not complicated beyond that, you can put them all on the landing page. Now, if you need to have a breakdown comparison of these with a table below it, make that into a separate page completely. And, you get like the little check marks of what each plan comes with, and whatever. Second CTA, this is where you really want to reiterate what's in the hero section. So your primary messaging for the target audience, and then present them again with a direct CTA. So the one thing you absolutely want them to do. And then founder's note or team note. This is where you're proving that this isn't just some website some guys threw up, a fake product or a fake service that some guy threw up on the internet and started promoting. This is a real business backed by real people that work there. Here's information about each of these people, or the people that that most matter. Here's links to their LinkedIn or their Twitter where they're active, and you can see like they're not just gonna like sell you something, take your money, and disappear into the night as anonymous people. And then you can also share background with of why this started. So here's mine from my landing page site, and it's stupid simple. So here's a picture of me. I'm a solo founder for this. I say 3 sentences broken up with spaces. Don't write a paragraph. Like, don't write a story. If you want to do that, you need a dedicated page for a story. And then I link out to my Twitter, my LinkedIn, and my personal site. You can find me elsewhere. You can contact me elsewhere. And I can prove that I'm legit. All right, so that covers like my general outline for how I like to build and structure a landing page. There's a lot of good information here and on the OurCalling website, like these metrics and stats that you need to clarify and use. Like, you have tons of photography from OurCalling. You have tons of stats. Like this is nothing to sneeze at. Um, so you need to make use of that, but you also need to clarify. Like I was reading these 60,000 plus. That's a lot. Referrals every single day. So I mean, I need a little bit of clarification on that to like give me some way to like feel right now when I read 60,000 plus referrals every single day, that sounds like a lot, but maybe it's not. But I need some sort of context to make that make sense to me so that I don't question it or I don't feel too skeptical. 1,600 plus people helped off the streets in 2023 using data from just a single location. Ugh. I need clarity on that too. So 1,600 people off the street, off the street in Dallas. Tell me where. I would prefer to see that than like this fuzzy statistic about taking people, getting people moved off the streets. So, and then maybe you say 2023. So just something with more clarity and straightforwardness. So I'm not confused or, when it comes to doing good, services that do good, people are just looking to nitpick and find something off about it. And so that's why, like, man, you got to have complete transparency and accuracy. I know y'all have all experienced that as well in different ways. Okay, I did mention this. So in the way that I was talking about how to present your applications or your suite of apps. Right now, when I see this, I have I have no clue what our technology is, what this app is called, how they're associated. So I think this is our technology. Download our app. So this needs to be rearranged and um, and made clear that here's the first app in our suite of apps, our family of apps that we offer, and it's called Our Calling. Or maybe it's something else. Like I don't know what the plan is exactly, if it's just get cities on board with Our Calling and roll that out across the nation, or if they're like white labeling apps on a per city basis or whatnot. But make this really clear. Our Calling. This is what it is and this is what we do, or this is what it is and what it offers. Here's how to download it. Here's our imagery of it. Here's this star rating that we have, which is like 4.75 or something. I just looked at it. Um, and here's a testimonial of somebody saying something about it. But, and then also link out to the Our Calling website. Uh, that's going to give them even more information about it. See how it's used, ourcalling.com or whatever the website URL is, .org. Um, so that's, you know, I in this drawing I encapsulated it because that kind of helps with the organization, I believe, and helps me think about these as separate things, but under the umbrella of our technology. So, is there a contact? Not really. You need some way to contact. Um, if you want to do like a join the waitlist, I don't know. I don't know if you need to, because what's the waitlist for, or what are you offering? You want some way for that lowest level of transaction. So the top level transaction, that's the most expensive, is an actual payment. The mid level is book a call, and that takes a little bit more effort on their behalf, but has a lot more potential. The lowest effort move is email. Capture their email. These are the only ways that you're going to have a way to talk to this person again in the future. Facebook's not going to work. Twitter's not going to work. You can get a follower there, but I email's much more valuable. So maybe you offer something like it might be its own section down towards the footer for the email newsletter or something to get updated on the latest that's happening or the current state of projects. But you definitely like some kind of transactional that's this low effort would be great. When it comes to social media, I don't know if you'll have anything yet for OurTechnology. I might say don't do it. And I say that because, let's see, does our, okay, yeah, it does. Let's see what our calling has. 1,000 followers. So not many, but it has something. The only the only reason you should have social media and promote it is if you're active on it. So if you don't have the time to be active on Twitter or YouTube or Instagram or Facebook right now, I wouldn't worry about it. Um, so it might just take time until you're in a better position where those make sense and you have content to share, um, and you can update it regularly. But if you don't have it right now, I don't know that I would do it. Um, so LinkedIn would probably make sense if y'all don't have that yet. I would link to that. That way you at least have a roster of employees and people working on it. That would be interesting and help give social proof. So this, I when I do these reviews, I'm not necessarily giving you the answers. I'm not solving your problem. Um, I'm not making your landing page a success, but I hope that it provides ideas and things for you to consider, and how to use what you have, how to implement new things, um, plug those holes of missing content or questions, uh, and so that you can take this to the next step and just continue to refine it as you go. Um, yeah. So yeah. So I hope that helps. Um, this is a very cool project. I like it a lot. I mean, this is mission driven. So I want this to succeed, and I want other people to know about it too, and and become huge fans of it, so that they can start pushing it in their own cities or towns. But anywho, I hope this helps, and feel free to contact me with any questions or thoughts that you may have that you want to further discuss. Thank you.